All right, to give you a status report. I had been playing around with the rudder, and I'd been using this kind of crappy flashing, and I decided to try it on some real aircraft aluminum, and was able to find this. Actually, a friend told me where to buy it, and this is the exact type of aluminum that the aircraft is made out of. It's 6061-T6, so it's exactly the same thing, the same thickness. It's 0.032, and so I started working on this. Now, this is I get it's easier to cut, but it's much more difficult to bend. And I'll talk about that in a minute. It turns out this trying to cut this angle right here, I was trying to use hand snips. I don't have them out here, but you know what they are. Trying to use hand snips, and that was just really difficult. So I finally took some advice and used a bandsaw. I borrowed went over to a friend's house, and he has a nice 14-inch bandsaw, and I bought a metal blade for it, metal cutting blade. And it turned out I made this cut right here, and it was really easy. It was very easy to make that cut. I got it very close to the line on top. The one little difficulty is on the bottom, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's not as close to the line on the bottom, and in fact it was a little more off than that. It was maybe a 1/16 of an inch off, and I have already filed that down considerably just for practice. So the other thing that was a success. The other thing that was a success is making the internal cuts. I had made a whole lot of internal cuts here, trying all kind of various techniques, and none seemed to work very well. And again, fellow builder Bobo told me about this nibbler, hand nibbler, and I'll show you that in a second. And I was able to make this internal because it doesn't come to the edge, cut very nicely, the slot, very nicely, using the nibbler. And then I finished it off with a Dremel tool and a little like sandpaper on the end. Very careful with that because that can get out of control very fast. But it made it very, very nice. So that was a success. So as far as bending goes, and I didn't even want to show you because you can see what a mess when I tried to bend it basically with very little tools, just a dowel rod and using my hands to try and bend it. It really turned out ugly. So I looked at another technique, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to make another one of these, do the whole thing again. And I've already made this bend, and it's working a lot better. I've just got some angle iron, and let me get over here so you can see. I put the angle iron, put the sheet underneath it, put the angle iron where I want to bend, and then I use a hand seamer to come in here and just bend it up slowly. Everything must be done slowly, just increment by increment, small increments. It's not perfect, but the good news is I don't believe I'm going to have to do very many bends. I think the metal's already bent that I'm getting in the kit. There might be some, but I think it's going to be fairly small amount. We'll find out. I do have to bend some other thicker pieces of aluminum, but I don't think that'll be as difficult because you use a machine to do that. So anyway, that's the process where I am right now. I think this one's going to turn out a lot better than that first one that I did. That's where we are. Thanks to Bobo, thanks to Dan Summerall for the use of his bandsaw. So more to come.